the house on the hills and the projects. You are royalty over here. A little bit of a disclaimer: I am not a lawyer or attorney. If you need legal advice, please seek a licensed professional. I do not give legal advice. So, y'all, as you can tell by the title of the video, we're going over why you should not pay collections. Period, point blank. I do have the debt collection practices, or the FDCPA as we know it, pulled up on my screen. So we're going to go over the congressional findings in just a second. But I want to go over 4 reasons you should not pay collections. Okay. First of all, they purchase for pennies on the dollar. Tell me, what sense does it make, right? If these companies are really losing out on money, what would be the logical reason to go away with the debt, give it to a third party debt collection agency that bought it for a couple dollars, way less than what the original creditor was trying to collect from you? What makes you think that is, you know, reasonable, right? That doesn't make any sense. If you owe me $10,000, why would I say, okay, well, I'm not going to get my money? It's the court system. It's all these things to go through, and the majority of the time they sell it to a third party collection agency because they know I already got paid on this debt multiple times in multiple ways, and they're probably still getting paid on the security that you gave them in connection with that debt. So, right? You did not sign a contract with the third party debt collector. So, again, if you owe me $10,000, you sign a contract with me. Whether you think that it's ethical or not, you still have a right to privacy. I can't just be giving your personable information to a third party debt collector for them to come after you to abuse and coerce payment out of you. I cannot do that, right? And that is where we're going to go over is in the congressional findings and declaration of purpose. Third, the original creditor is no longer trying to collect on a debt. 9 times out of 10, the original creditor is not trying to collect on the debt in connection, in connection with collections, right? Collection accounts are the third party is handling that, okay? Now, the FDCPA does govern creditors who are collecting on a debt in another name. So if you signed a contract with ABC and they're trying to collect, and then they sell it to XYZ, but they're still, partnered, they're still a part of that company, doesn't matter. Now they're governed back under the FDCPA if they're trying to collect on their own debt under a different name. And the fourth reason you should not pay collections is because if you pay, they still report to your consumer report negatively. Okay, you have a pay for delete letter. That's great. But at the same time, that pay for delete letter, they have an option if they want to accept it or not. Just because you write a pay for delete letter or just because you pay it doesn't mean that they're going to delete the debt, right? So you don't owe it to begin with. You didn't sign a contract with them. If the original creditor is not trying to collect, best believe some way they got paid, okay? And then you can dispute it off of your consumer report instead of having it stay on there and paying it, right? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to pay the collection if I don't owe it. The original creditor is not trying to collect on it, because if they didn't believe that it was worth coming after me for, I'm not going to pay you for it, somebody that I don't even know and that I didn't even sign a contract with, and we've never done business together. So let's get into the congressional findings and declarational purpose of the FDCPA. This section is important because this tells you why Congress enacted these laws, right? This tells you why Congress came up with the FDCPA to begin with. All right, abusive practices. There is abundant evidence of the use of abusive, deceptive, and unfair debt collection practices by many debt collectors. Abusive debt collection practices contribute to the number of personal bankruptcies, to marital instability, to the loss of jobs, and to invasions of individual privacy. That's really, really important because 9 times out of 10, when they're trying to collect on a debt, they're some way, shape, or form invading your individual privacy. You have a right to privacy. And then notice Congress does not, Congress defines debt. Um, in here, it'll let you know what's abusive, deceptive, and unfair. Um, it'll let you know it'll let you know what they found so you don't have to go search for it. Inadequacy of laws. Existing laws and procedures for redressing these injuries are inadequate to protect consumers. So basically, this section is saying the laws that were in place already were not adequate enough to protect consumers. So they had to then go back and say, oh, y'all getting bold, y'all getting more aggressive, y'all getting more abusive when it comes to debt collection practices. And now we have to enact a whole nother set of laws. Available non-abusive collection methods. Means other than misrepresentation or other abusive debt collection practices are available for the effective collection of debts. Now you'll see as we get along, right, the way that I think about it, right, when I see means other than misrepresentation or other abusive debt collection practices are available for the effective collection of debts, means the things not listed in this section, right? So all of these ways they're abusing you is going to be in this sub chapter. And mind you, this is one of the shorter sub chapters in this title, but at the same time, it's so much information in the FDCPA. We all dealing with debt collectors, all of us. It's every time you turn around, somebody is saying that you owe a debt. Okay, interstate commerce is just, this section is pretty much just saying that debt collectors affect interstate commerce. They affect day-to-day business. Purpose. It is the purpose of this subchapter to eliminate abusive debt collection practices by debt collectors, to ensure that those debt collectors who refrain from using abusive debt collection practices are not competitively disadvantaged. So when I read that section, right, I'm thinking in my head, if if they the way that they try to collect on debts now was non-abusive, non-harassing, non-invading on my individual privacy, the lawful way to collect a debt, they really wouldn't get anything. They really wouldn't get anything. That's how less of a power Congress is giving them. They wouldn't really be able to collect. So in order to, and if you really want to be honest, the ways that they do it now, people still aren't paying up. So once you start, learning who you are and learning the law, you know what they can and cannot do and what you can and cannot do as well. So that kind of eliminates that. But if you really want to be real, the way that they're trying to collect now, which is harassing, invading your privacy, abusive, um, they're still not getting money out of people. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people are paying up, but at the same time, a lot of people aren't. So, imagine if they were to collect the debt lawfully, they probably wouldn't get the same response, or those people that are paying now, they wouldn't get those people, which is why they said, okay, well, you know what? We're going to refrain to being abusive, deceptive. We're going to invade your individual privacy, and just violate your rights. So that's why Congress said, okay, I'm going to give you some tools to work with. And they gave us the FDCPA to go after debt collectors. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos. Make sure you drop a comment in the section below if you have a comment, whatever the case may be. Also, I have a private Facebook group. If you want to join the private Facebook group, you can join the private Facebook group. And yeah, that is it. I will see you guys in the next video.